What's going on, y'all? Just wanted to talk briefly about, some of the foolishness is going on. People going back and forth. Israel going back and forth on how this thing should have been handled. Even though it's really not our thing to handle if you're outside of that body. But it don't matter how you... We got to go back to we got to understand the principle. We got to have the principle understanding, the base understanding of these things so that we can modernize. We can modernize the text and modernize the law. And what I mean by that is even rebuking before the congregation. What does that look like in the 21st century? And what does that look like? What is the congregation? Is that YouTube? Is that YouTube? Is that just the body? People donating, sending super chats, they not part of the body? I don't know about that. In my opinion, they are. In my opinion, if they watching and that's all the body doing. They're learning from you. You giving lessons there. That's part of your flock. That's part of the body. And then you can even look at it as, because we so small, Israel as a whole is one body. Yeah, they should be blasting in front of everybody. We just one body, just operating in different little congregations or whatever, but we one body. We should be one body in Christ, period. But anyway. Salute to one body in Yahweh Shah. Salute to those brothers. And I have a plethora of examples. Now I don't want to get too into the logistics of these things, but I have a plethora of examples of it don't matter how you rebuke somebody. They still gonna take offense, and a lot of times they're gonna leave. Unless you got something on them, unless it's something there that's cleaning them. That's why the ranking system is important. The ranking system kind of helps with people being able to take the rebuke. Now, why, Brother Phoenix? Why does that help? I'm gonna tell you the methodology behind it. It's it allows one to rebuke. Yeah, you can take rebuke, but you initially get into a position where you can rebuke. And you don't want to lose that position. After you done earned that position of getting rebuked and, low level, and you done jumped your way up, you don't want to start over. And so you're willing to accept some things, to accept some mistreatment or whatever, and, to keep that spot. To keep that spot within that community. All right, ranking system works like that. And so you can say certain things, like we seen the brother in the video, like, we couldn't say nothing, we couldn't overtalk him because he's a sergeant. You know what I'm saying? So, also I done had people try to marry me. Well, not people try to marry me, but brothers try to give me their daughters. To try to get me, to try to lock me in. Somebody get you married off, they'll lock you in. Yeah, man, that brother gave me my rib. Yep, he sold me you got some communities, man, he sold me my rib. I'm here for life. We ain't going nowhere. Hey, help me get a job, help me and gave me a place to stay. I stayed in this spot for 4 months, 5 months. I ain't going nowhere, man. Certain things like that kind of lock you in. And again, it should be a separation, in my opinion, of And what do y'all think? It like the church in your personal life. It can't be all that, like everything is that. Everything is around that organization. No, man, when I leave the organization, I come in and do what I need to do for the organization, but when I leave that organization, man, I'm my own person. I got my own family. I got my own issues I have to deal with. And everything I'm dealing with, I'm not dealing with that organization, man. I'll be able to handle, and that's the thing too. But y'all gotta be able to handle these things in your house. Brothers paying brothers for counseling. All right, brother, you gotta be able to control your house. And then what does it say when, we had to go to leadership and she listened to the leader before she listened to you? You couldn't get her to do it. But after talking to the leader, she started doing it. Like, well, I don't, you know. Now understanding, getting another perspective, or both of y'all can't agree on something, okay? And you don't know, hey, y'all at odds with each other, and you need a third witness in there to try to give another perspective. And that's gonna be genuine. I can see you bringing that in. But you should be the judge in your own house. You should be the judge in your house. If she not, you gotta evaluate that. I don't know how far y'all take that. I can only speak for me, and I'm not in that situation. So, I just know, just going off of how I feel right now, that I don't know, I feel a little crazy, with this brother, trying to get this brother to get my wife to do certain things. It sounds crazy to me. But anyway, no matter how you rebuke people, it's gonna be always an issue. You ain't gonna correct the child, and the child turn around and say, well, that was, Dad, that was the right way to do that. I appreciate you. I appreciate that swift discipline, that swift rebuke that you gave. So a lot of times you don't appreciate that till you've matured. Ooh. You don't appreciate that till you mature. You don't appreciate the discipline that was given to you, until you mature. I done rebuked brothers and came back years later. Bro, you did the right thing, bro. Bro, you did the right thing. You did the right thing, man. I appreciate it. After he matured. After they matured. Brother, hey, brother, man, would you marry me? Nah, bro, I can't marry you now. But, brothers did have an issue with some correction. If a brother left Prince of Power, it was because of correction. 9 times out of 10, when a brother left Prince of Power, it was due to correction and rebuke. And every time I did it, no matter how I did it, brothers had an issue with the way that I did it. Pulled one brother to the side, didn't say, I took him. He said, man, you shouldn't have did that like that. I felt you should have put both of us there. You shouldn't have talked to us one at a time privately. And really, it was just a situation brothers end up wanting to come to blows. Why in the world I'm going to put y'all in the same room is my understanding. But again, from that point on, I realized, man, no matter how you do it. Yeah. No matter how you do it. It's, what is that in Hebrews? Chasten if it's uncomfortable or something like that. Somebody put that in the comments. In the beginning. But once you mature, I want to say it's like Hebrews 9:25, 26, something like that. I don't know. Even the chastening of the Lord at first is something. The chastening of the Lord at first is painful or something in that manner. And y'all put it in the comments for me. I know I got the scholars out there. But that's the same thing with any rebuke. And what it's showing me is that a lot of people are immature. We got a lot of people in Israel immature. And yeah, it looked crazy at first. Yeah, that chastening looked crazy at first. It ain't till later. It ain't till later, man. It may be 10 years from now where that brother saying, boy, man, if he matures. I appreciate the way, the brothers was doing them videos, man. I appreciate that. A lot of brothers are saying, well, all you had to do is do this, and all you had to say, I seen, well, I ain't gonna put no names. I seen brothers say, all you got to do is say this and say that, and all we have to do is deal with this part. But no, and you all got sin, and you gotta, and you right, and it gotta be called out. If we see it, it gotta be called out. That's why Israel is in the spot that it's in. And now more and more of this stuff is coming out. More of this stuff is leaking out where, it's going to be all over the place, man. It's going to be all over the place. And if I see it out there, I'm going to speak on it. And there's a lot of things that I've heard, again, from brothers coming from other congregations, brothers going to other congregations, again, leaving, but, they was in their feelings a little moment, but then they end up calling, and then when that leader say something to them, they come back to me like, oh, man, what is this, and da-da-da-da-da, and no, he teaching this. I'm like, bro, that's who you went under. And it's like, are you going under these camps for the teaching, or you just trying to say you doing something? You just trying to put on some colors. And that's the problem too, man. We got a different agenda while we joining these organizations. While you joining these brothers, you just want to wave the flag. Sakari got a mighty flag. And I've been saying this for years. They the most influential. They the most influential group. I don't think Bishop Nathaniel ain't been on the channel like that. Bishop Nathaniel hadn't seen the viewership that Guerrilla Hebrew done seen. And a lot of times this new generation ain't gonna respect them old heads. Now why? Or these elders. Probably old heads may be a little disrespectful. These elders. Because they're not out here debating. They're not out here defending their cause. They're not sitting down showing that they're scholarly. All right? No matter what you say. That brother has proven that he's the most scholarly in Israel. Now, why you say that? Now, most of the stuff I don't agree with none of you. A lot of the stuff he's saying, I ain't gonna say nothing. But they're the only ones getting in the ring with these juggernauts. Yeah, you can feel how you want to feel about it, but that's the math for me. I don't want to hear you no scholar if you're not getting in the ring and seeking out these apologists and debating them in the ring. I don't want to hear it. You ain't jumping on James White. You ain't jumping on Dr. Brown's. And Captain Tazariak up there also. Shouts out to him. Deacon up there also. Them the faces. How do you get the face? By going up there debating. Other brothers, Zabak had his face because he was going up there on side now. Divine Prospect, he even had his face going up there on Sinetta TV and debating, you know. But if you're not out here doing that, this is just based on the community. You know, I don't need that. But I'm just talking about the community. I don't need to debate to see where somebody at. That's why I refute a lot of stuff that they say. But the community does, because the community ain't gonna go back behind them. All right, they ain't gonna go back and check and see what these sources is, or try to read these books. Man, we don't read. That's one of our issues also. We don't read. And that's the math on a reader. They're going to have, their vocabulary is going to expand. One who reads, and chief priest has and deacon, they be saying some words. They be saying some words. They got a decent vocabulary. They got a vulgar vocabulary also, but when it's time to talk among certain higher ups, certain individuals within the scholastic circle, he can hold his own. All right, he can hold his own. The brother from GOCC too, Elder Rakah. Salute to GOCC. Elder Rakah also. Yeah, those the faces. Brothers, you know, you can go, man. You can go to whatever country you want to go to. You can teach on whatever city you want to teach. You ain't out here online going back and forth with brothers. You're not getting the respect of the next generation. Sorry. All right. So I've been saying that these brothers are some of the most influential brothers within Israel, and that's a fact because of even the rebuke. It's probably it done spread more than anything. You know, is it the worst sin ever? I don't know. It's up there though, but I don't know if it's the worst that I've seen since I've been in Israel. No, I can't say it's the worst, because kids been involved. But it didn't spread like this. It's because of the individual. So you just got to be 100 about that. But we're going to have to develop halakha, however you say it, fence laws. That needs to be developed within Israel, because we have to modernize the law because of some of the technology that we have, and even us gleaning. We gonna have to glean from what they've written. And y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna be 100. These folks have been Jews longer than anybody else on the planet. The people calling themselves Jews, the little hats, if we're saying they converted back in Ruth, if you're saying they converted back in 2nd century BC with the Hasmoneans, they've been Jews longer than anybody else on the planet. And in walking this thing out, they have developed certain laws outside of the law to keep you from trespassing the law. We're going to have to glean from that. If y'all want a solution, we can keep talking about, well, it shouldn't be done this way, it shouldn't be done this way. But if you want a solution, here's a solution. We glean from those fence laws and we develop our own. And brothers ain't finna let you do that as a whole. You got to do that within your organization. I would like for it to be done a nationwide situation, but we have too much bitterness in our hearts. Too much hatred in our hearts to do that. Start with the organization. You have certain fence laws. develop, and you can glean. Take a shortcut. Don't be in your pride and your feelings. Glean from some of what they've developed, and we develop our own halakha. And we develop our own how to navigate the law within these modern times, and we can leave this here for generations to come, so they can add on. Just like, if I heard Elon Musk say we're gonna have Tesla robots all over it's gonna be more Tesla robots in 2040 than it is humans. Is it okay for my robot to cook on the Sabbath? Is it okay for my robot to go out and go shopping for me? You know what I'm saying? So, and then, we can navigate there. Oh, well, the robots are hand servant, maid servant. So if you got to keep it, the hand servant can't do it, But we navigate through it. You see what I'm saying? We navigate through it. And we do that with rebuke. Like I said, who is the church? It said rebuke before all. Who is all? Or it should have started within the organization, should it? What is the organization when we all on YouTube? When all our ministries are on YouTube and on social media, right? So things like that will have to develop. And at the end of the day, it don't matter how you do it. Brother's going to be offended. Point blank, period. Rebuke, rebuke is it hurt a little bit until you mature and you grow up and you realize, what, man, that was a benefit. I appreciate those chastenings. Now today, I appreciate the chastenings that I got from my father. But initially, the chastenings, I know, man, I hated him for it. And you have to understand that with chastening. You have to understand that with rebuking. They're going to hate you for it initially. But some years will come by, some time will go by, and y'all willing these folks mature. And then they'll say, you know what, man, shoot, brother, you were right, man. I appreciate you standing on that. That's what's needed. But yeah, we'll have to modernize this thing and develop some fence laws within Israel, some ordinances on handling these situations. You just can't read the text. We know what the text says, but some of those things, because of the times we live in, those things have to be looked through a scope of how we're living today in modern time, because it worked back then, And I'll give you another example. A lot of brothers in the old one-way school, I done heard them say, man, brothers done got thrown downstairs, brothers getting kicked out, like literally being thrown out of the school, brothers getting hands put on them. Now, do you want to do that today? And that's what I'm saying. The ranking system, all of this stuff plays a part in how, one can take a rebuke, and whether one can receive a rebuke. A lot of the people that's standing, and I want you to do the math on it. A lot of the people that stand with Sakari is the leadership. Some of the people that's been going through rebuke, and they've been getting corrected on every little thing and getting rebuked for every little thing, them the ones that are really in their feelings. Them the ones that are looking at this situation like, wait a minute, man. Ain't no way. How y'all gonna let him get away with that? When you been getting on me about just being late. How you gonna let him get away with it and you been getting on me just about being late? Them the ones who are really in those feelings. But once you get up in rank and you can start rebuking people, you'll stay and you'll sit there and endure. You endure a lot of that. And again, brothers have memories of cockroaches. We'll forget this thing. This thing will be totally forgotten by Tabernacles. And he's seen it because there was a lot of hoopla about the Passover incident. But whether it's right or whether it's wrong and all of this stuff, man, y'all, I think that's a fruitless talk. I think the solution is halakha. And and we develop that for our community. That's the answer. That's my answer. That's what I'm giving you. And we can glean from the little hats and how they've navigated it, being that they've lived this thing out a lot longer than we have. And then we did develop it and make our own version of it within Hebrew Israelism. All right, pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.